Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Gurureva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapyat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tatpavam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Jai Guru. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So I want to welcome you all back, our first class of the new year. And we are in chapter 10, and we will be doing verse 14. Can you grab the light over there, Krishna?
Actually, no, Jim, you did something here. I think the triple click already. I hadn't.
There's enough light?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's review what the topic is that's under discussion in the 10th chapter. So we're dealing with three questions. Who am I? What is this world? And how has it come about? So, who am I? Our basic meditation for this is Drishya Viveka. Discrimination between the seer and the seen. I am not the body. I am not the prana. I am not the feelings. I am not the thoughts. I am not any notion of self. It's individual. Koham, who am I? Aham Brahmasmi. I am that ground of being. That Chidakash, that space of pure awareness. But that's not the whole picture. What is this world? And we have two scriptural statements that we have to reconcile. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Brahman alone is real. Jagat, the phenomenal world, is Mithya, illusion. Literally a lie. Fake news. And the scriptures, thunder, Chandogya says, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma, Sarvamidam, all this, meaning the Jagat, the world, Kalu verily is Brahman. So make up your mind, is it an illusion or is it all God? Yes. So it is all consciousness itself, appearing as name and form. We have all these wonderful metaphors in scripture. One of them is pratibimba. Bimba is a mirror. Pratibimba is the reflection in the mirror. So if you go into the bathroom and you look into the mirror, there's an image in the mirror. It is the mirror itself that appears as the image. You can't pull the image out of the mirror. If I go into the mirror and it reflects my face, and Vinayak goes in and the mirror reflects his face, there's no change in the mirror. The mirror is kutastha, still, unchanging. Yet is its nature to reflect images. So also consciousness has its Maya Shakti. It's the inherent power of the infinite. The whole world appears in it. But what's really there? Consciousness, consciousness alone. How do the images come about? And the scriptures say, sankalpena, instrumental case, by means of imagination. The phenomenal world is not created the way a potter creates a pot. It is imagined. And the background never changes. Just like when you have a dream, it is your mind itself that appears as the dream body, the dream ego, the dream world, the dream thoughts and feelings, the dream activities. But just like nothing in the dream touches you, the waker, nothing in this world of name and form touches the self. And then we also talked about the 3 levels that Gita teaches on. First, it's a Dharma Shastra, teaches us how to act intelligently in the world. Then you can study Gita identified with Arjuna. He's the universal every person, the universal yogi. Actually, it means we're identified with the subtle body. We're developing the qualities of head and heart that we need to evolve. But whatever Krishna says about himself, this is the 3rd level, is true about you, not your ego, but about the self in you. I am Atma, Brahma. This self that I am is in fact Brahman. I don't merge into it. I don't become it. I don't get glued onto it after I die. I already am it. But in my mind, because of spiritual ignorance, I do not know it. All right. So let's back up and read the English of verses, I think 12 and 13 were done together.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So just read those 2 verses in the English, just to kind of see where, so we can get what Krishna's answer is.
It's actually Arjuna Vacha.
Yeah. Arjuna said.
Arjuna said, "You are the supreme Brahman, the supreme abode, the supreme purifier, eternal, divine Purusha, the God of all gods, unborn, omnipresent. All the rishis have thus declared you as also the Deva Rishi, Narada as also Asita, Devala, and Vyasa, and now the same you yourself say to me."
So here Krishna has identified himself as the same as Brahman, the same as Purusha, the same as Atman, the essence of what all the Vedanta teaches. All right, verse 14.
Sarvametadritam manye yanmam vadasi Keshava nahi te bhagavan vyaktim vidurdevana danavaha. I believe all this that you say to me as true, O Keshava. Verily, O blessed Lord, neither the Devas nor the Danavas know your manifestation or identity.
So, what does this mean? What are the devas? When we see devas, we normally think of it means the gods. But in yoga, they have a technical meaning. They can mean the forces of nature. They can mean the sense organs. It can also mean the presiding principle governing a field of human endeavor. We got that when we were studying 3, 4, and 5. Here, the word deva means the senses, the mind, and the intellect. The scriptures thunder. The self is unknowable by the standard means of knowledge. You do not see, hear, taste, touch, or smell yourself. Your body. So you are not a feeling. Oh, I was in meditation. I got all blissed out. I felt the self. No. It had a beginning and an end. If it had qualities and characteristics, that's not it. It's not an idea. Some people get confused with this. It is true that the scriptures are a valid praman, means of knowledge. Okay, so I'm going to read all the Upanishads and the Brahman. You will know about Brahman, but you will not know. So is it unknowable? It is unknowable in the field of knower, knowing, and known. Yet it can be known. In fact, it's known all the time. How do you know you are you? Who sees the phone? I do. That's yourself. Now, the mind made very quiet, with the attention turned within, space between your thoughts. See if you can notice. Well, who are you? Why do you get nothing new? But your understanding of yourself, rooted in the direct experience of the disappearance of any personal sense of self. Very real. The self is self. It is I-ing. It is selfing all the time. It is constant. Oh, I went to Burning Man and I dropped ecstasy. I think I realized the self. Is it happening now? No. Not in that. Once you see it, it's me. It's my self-nature. Can't lose it. When are you ever not you? So the devas don't know it. No being knows it as an object. It is unknowable by the various means of knowledge, the sense organs, etc. But it is not unknown. All right, next verse.
स्वयमेवात्मनात्मानं वेत्थ त्वमपुरुषोत्तम भूतभावन भूतेव देवदेव जगत्पते. Verily, you yourself know yourself by yourself, O Purushottama, Supreme Purusha, O source of beings, O Lord of beings, O God of gods, O ruler of the world.
Yes. Oh, so just as I was saying before, you yourself know yourself by yourself. The pramana, the means of knowledge by which the self is known, is the self itself. It is Swayambhu, self-evident. It is Swayam Jyoti, self-luminous. So, in fact, what do we do in meditation? We are not trying to get something or know something. Rather, we're endeavoring to remove what obscures, what obfuscates, what confuses my mind. Self is a constant. Way back in the 70s, we used to have these things called samadhi tanks. I think now they call them sensory deprivation tanks. Maybe you ever gone and played with one of those, like on a retreat or something? It's like a cocoon. You have?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Well, it's like a slightly bigger than a coffin. Not morbid. It's made of metal, usually painted white, but it seals completely and it's completely dark and it has a very low amount of water, but maybe like 2,000 pounds of salt or something in it. That makes the water very buoyant, and then you float in it and you don't experience gravity, which changes, and there's no light or sun. So it, when and it's at body temperature, the water, so
Yes.
you have no sensory perception. So it's called a sensory deprivation chamber, actually. Also,
and could you hear your own heartbeat?
Yeah, it's a very womb-like experience if you get into it.
But could you hear your heartbeat?
Yeah.
Now that's going on all the time. Can you hear your heartbeat as you move through the day and work and do dishes and stuff like that?
No.
Your heart didn't stop. Do you get the point? What did the sensory deprivation tank do? It removed the things that obscure my ability to hear my own heart. It's always there. Likewise, the self is always there. The self is self-evident. How do you know you were you? I don't know. I just know it. That's right. But in the mind, we have jiva bhavana, the attitude or the feeling that I'm a person, usually rooted in body identification. This is what I am. I'm this lump of meat. And all the things that go along with it. I was talking with someone this evening, and they were saying, oh, you know, he's laid off from work right now because of health things, and he wanted to do this, he wanted to practice the guitar, and he wanted to meditate, he wanted to work on this. He didn't do any of it. For 4 hours, he just stayed in bed and zoned out watching junk TV. Oh, why did I do that? I'm just terrible. I have no discipline, blah, 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 blah. This self-flagellation. Any of you ever go through that? All rooted in identification with the body and the body's actions and our ideas of self. Psychotherapy will tell us to try to improve our self-esteem. Yoga says, abandon all personal ideas of self. But then I'll disappear. Something will disappear. Something remains. Go there and find out. All right, that was the first idea. You yourself know yourself by yourself. What's the next idea?
Then there's just a lot of epithets, so oh, source of beings, a lot of
source of beings. What do we mean by that? In the introductory remarks, I talked about what is this world and how has it come about. Consciousness is the source of all things movable and immovable, all things and beings. In our mantra that we chant at the end of class, Purnamada. Purnamada Purnamidam. That ultimate reality is full. Purnamidam. This is full. Purnat Purnamudachyate. From the fullness of that, the fullness of this has proceeded, has issued forth. This is what it means. Out of consciousness itself, the entire universe emerges. Not as something separate, though. Next idea.
oh, Lord of beings.
Yes. So, Ishvara Bhava. one of the slogans I invite people to take up. I'm frightened because I see a meaningless universe. I see a meaningless universe because I'm in competition with God. God may be all intelligent and all powerful. That's what Ishvara means. He's the Lord. But he's an underachiever because he's not doing it my way. So what a yogi wants to do is practice Ishvara Pranidhana. That's how Patanjali describes it, the Yoga Sutra. Trustful surrender to God. Swamiji used to say it's a cosmos, not a chaos. Everything is unfolding as it should. There's no need to worry. Yeah, but what about blah, 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 blah? It's all going to be okay. Do what you're intuitively led to do. But don't worry. Because Krishna is the Lord of all beings, the ruler. What are you doing out at the ocean? Oh, I'm going to make the waves go in and out. That one makes the waves go in and out. No. That's the foolishness of ego. Look what I did. Oh, listen what I did. It's all just vanity. Next idea.
O God of gods.
Yes. So we have our various Ishta Devatas, our wished for deities, be it Krishna or Shiva or Jesus. Whatever it is, Ganesh. But what is the God behind all the gods? All of these various murtis, these various forms, are just masks that the Lord wears. Earlier, Krishna has said, in whatever way people approach me, so am I to them. You can pick whatever form of God you wish. God doesn't care. The end. Avyapavesham, untalkable. And here also it means what is the eye of the eye, the ear of the ear, the speech of the speech. We will cover exactly these ideas when we study Kena Upanishad starting this Saturday. We can also say he is the ruler of all the devas, the various organs of perception. Next idea.
O ruler of the world.
Same idea. God's in charge. I don't have to push the river downstream. Ride the horse in the direction it's going. Take it easy. It's all going to work out. So here there's a practice that's implied. It's Ishvara Pranidhana. It's trustful surrender to God. Now, even the non-theists, the Buddhists, will touch on this idea. There's a very famous Zen koan. From where you are sitting, move the distant boat across the water. This is not about having psychic powers. Oh, I want to make the boat move. From where you are sitting, the very intelligence and energy that's making your eyelids go up and down is moving cars up and down Grand Avenue and is spinning galaxies. And it's all connected. A wonderful word that I think Jung coined. It's synchronous. Connectedness with it all. And when we stop all the kartavya is literally obligatory action, means this ego-driven, power-driven need to control, to make, to dominate, to achieve. You let go of that. Then it's like there's a hand of the infinite in our back that starts to move us where we're supposed to be. Is that the end?
Yeah.
All right. Any thoughts? Any questions? Let go and let God have its wonderful way. The path of surrender, the path of acceptance. Next verse.
वक्तुर्मर्हस्य शेषेण दिव्याह्यात्मविभूतयः याभिर्विभूतिभिर्लोक आनिमास्त्वं व्याप्य तिष्ठसि. You should indeed, without reserve, tell me of your divine glories by which you exist, pervading all these worlds.
So here, the Lord's vibhuti, the Lord's glories. Arjuna, this is a literary device. It sets up how can Krishna talk about the untalkaboutable. So what he's going to do is start a list. And he's going to talk about what is the ultimate in various fields of experience. Now, there's lots implied here. So I think the way I want to enter into it is what we call aesthetic theology, or theological aesthetics. I'm not quite sure the distinction. So when you see something beautiful, what happens to your mind? If you hear beautiful music, or you see a beautiful person, or you watch a beautiful sunset, or you smell a beautiful flower, what happens to our mind?
Stay quiet. You just enjoy it.
That's a taste of my self-nature. That's a kiss of the bliss of Brahman. It's the Anandamaya Kosha. Now, in my ignorance, I tend to attribute that joy, that acknowledgement of beauty to the object. Oh, he is so handsome. She is so beautiful. Oh, that tastes so good. Oh, the music is just sublime. I think the joy is there. So what Krishna is going to talk about here when he talks about being the ultimate in these various fields is, when we're in the zone, when we acknowledge beauty, when we have a great experience, mind stops. I get a taste of my self-nature. This is why so many theologians would talk about how the experience of beauty can be a doorway to the infinite. All right, let's see how the Lord answers.
कथं विद्यामहं योगिम् अस्त्वां सदा परिचिन्तयन् केषु केषु च भावेषु चिन्त्योऽसि भगवन्मया. How shall I, ever meditating, know you, O Yogin? In what aspects or things, O blessed Lord, are you to be thought of by me?
So here, Arjun asks, where should I focus my mind? What should I meditate on? And the implication here is not only in my meditation seat, but also when I'm moving through the world. So what happens in the world? Here's my little rock. I decide what's dear to me, what's enjoyable. I go after it usually, or if I just get proximate to it, move on. But when desire and object of desire become one, pramoda, a point of pleasure, that's a taste of the bliss of the self. I've just used the object to induce the mind state of being free from desire, from longing, control, the underlying low-level discontent that I tend to run around. So whatever it is that I'm doing out there. So here, the practice that's implied is this. We start with what we call Sakshi Bhav. Take on the attitude of the witness. I want to step back to the higher intellect. Watch my feelings, watch my thoughts. Hugh just came from a meditation retreat. So as you're sitting there for hours, what happens?
A lot of thoughts go by, a lot of feelings go by.
Yeah. But because of the frame, you just watch them. Yep. You don't have to fix them, and you don't have to get away from them. You can't go eat ice cream to get away from the feelings of the thoughts. Fully present to what's there. This is called Sakshi Bhava. the attitude or the feeling of being the witness of everything. Now, specifically, in terms of this next section, while we're moving through the world, watch what it feels like when you want something you don't have, or aversion, you want to get rid of something you don't like, or the fear that arises when you have what you want, but you're afraid you're going to lose it. Yoga would say, let's put physical suffering on the shelf for now. But can you find any other kind of suffering? And then we want to watch the opposite side. Watch my happiness. Watch my joy. When desire and object of desire become one, yoga says happiness always tastes the same to the mind. You mean ice cream, sex, and music all do the same thing to my mind? Yes. We get confused because of the diversity of sensory experience. And it will vary in intensity and it will vary in duration. But what it is a momentary respite from the low level, virtually constant state of discontent most of us run around in. It's funny, I was talking with a person who's a chronic relapser on drugs. And he said, Jim, I just wanted some release. I just wanted some relief. From what? Low level, constant agitation. It was so painful. He had to self-soothe. I think that's the weirdest expression. So you make friends with your suffering, make friends with your joy. Own your suffering, own your honor. One of the things that you will see is what it is that disturbs me is so repetitive and boring. Those of you who've been working with me for a while, how many times do I ask the question, who got upset this week? Tell me this is the first time you felt this way. Same situation, just the names and faces change. Nobody has the power to make me feel anything. Nothing in this world has the power to rob me of my serenity. I choose to give that away. And we begin to see how mechanical and stupid our addictive, tyrannized relationship with life is. This is the dukkha that the Buddha talked about. It's insane. And just as the Buddha said, the cause of it is kama, desire, sangraha, attachment. And then the noble truth number 3, freedom. From that is freedom from suffering. Experience it in ordinary people, 2 states. When I go to sleep, no mind there to suffer. And momentarily when I satisfy a desire. Then the Buddha said, can I permanently be free from the tyranny of dukkha, of kama, of sangraha? Yep. He called it the Eightfold Path, we would call it sadhana. Same teaching. Same. Okay, so this is how Krishna is going to talk about this. My watch is doing funny things. Oh, I see. They were all the hands were on top of one another. Anyway, next verse.
विस्तरेणात्मनो योगं विभूतिं च जनार्दन भूय कथय तृप्तिहिं शृणवतो नास्ति मे मृतम्. Tell me again in detail, O Janardana, of your yoga power and imminent glory, for I do not feel satisfied by hearing your life-giving and nectar-like speech.
So again, this is a literary device. Arjun sets it up so that Krishna can talk about this going on.
Shri Bhagwan Vacha Hantate Kathayishyami Divyayatma Vibhutaya Pradhanyata Purushrestha Nastayanto Vistarasya me. The Blessed Lord said, Alas, now I will declare to you my divine glories, imminent in their prominence. O best of the Purus, there is no end to the details of my extent.
So now he sets up the list he's going to give, and it's a partial list. There is no end to the glories of the Lord. Going on.
Ahamatma Gudakesha Sarvabhutashya Yasthita Ahamadishwamatyam cha Bhutanamanta eva cha. I am the self, O Gudakesha, seated in the hearts of all beings. I am the beginning, the middle, and also the end of all beings.
So remember at the beginning of class, I talked about who am I? What is this world? How does it come about? So frequently in the scripture, when we get a list of things, the most important is given at the beginning. And they break it down. So here Krishna says, I am the self, seated in the heart of all beings. Now, what is my spiritual heart? It's not geographically located in the body. The heart, spiritual heart, the Hridaya, is when the intellect, meaning the flow of thought, becomes incredibly quiet. And in the mind, the struggler ceases all striving. Then they merge. In that thunderous silence, quiet mind, and open heart. No thingness. So you can say, oh, Ramana Maharshi, the self in him was Krishna. Me, I'm a worm. No. It's the self in everyone. Donald Trump? Yes. Self of Donald Trump. It's also. And out of consciousness, according to law, the karma chakra, the wheel of karma, these equipments, which are the Lord's creations, there's no equipment that is not created by Krishna. They are all in Krishna, like images in a dream, like characters in a dream. So again, who am I? Brahman. What is this world? It too is Brahman. But how does it come about? Names and forms. Sankalpena. Means of imagination. The Lord imagines all the names and forms. They're essentially neutral. They just are. But my sankalpa, this is good, this is bad. This I like, this I don't like. That's my little zoo. Mind is the world is the mind. It's my creation of my world at the level of the individuality. And it's all just imagination. It's there. Just Namarupa, name and form. Imagined by the infinite. All right, next verse. How are we doing on time?
Adityanamaham Vishnur Jyotisham Raviramshuman Marichirmarutamasmi Nakshatranamaham Shashi. Among the 12 Adityas, I am Vishnu. Among luminaries, the radiant sun. I am Marichi among the Maruts. Among asterisms, the moon am I.
That meaning celestial bodies. So he looks at Arjun and then has a question mark on his forehead. I don't understand. And we're back here to our idea of what happens when I'm in the presence of excellence, when I'm in the presence of beauty, when I'm in the presence of mastership. So when we see little star up there, yeah, nice star. Oh, but the moon is so incredible. Of all the gods, what is the greatest thing to be worshipped? It's He. Of all the great sages, what is it that makes a great sage great? It's Krishna. He's trying to give worldly experiences to Arjuna, to articulate what happens to my mind when I'm in the presence. Excellence. Let me give you a real life experience. So many of you know I'm a retired singer. That's what I did for a living. And I was a great lover of the opera. And I'm old enough to remember Joan Sutherland and Marilyn Horne. Anybody remember those names? Two great, great opera singers. They were really, really big in the 60s and the 70s and stuff. And I can remember being at the opera house as a standee and the money. And those two ladies would, like, in the middle of the opera, they'd come down to the apron of the stage. There was a sweet spot where, you could just hear so clearly. And they would sing, and it would be like one mind through these two voices. Such ensemble, and it was so beautiful and so masterful. They would do things you just had no idea the voice was capable of doing. And then when they'd finish, they'd be just like, sigh. Then thunderous applause. That silence at the end of a piece of great art. What did it do? It stopped my mind. This is where we get a taste. Ordinary of the end. Going on, next verse.
Vedanam samavedosmi, devanam vasava, indriyanam manashyasmi, bhutanam Ch.10. Among the Vedas, I am the Samaveda. I am Vasava among the gods. Among the senses, I am the mind, and I am the intelligence among living beings.
Yes. So, starting from the beginning, Samaveda has taken many of the ideas of the older Vedas, especially like the Rig Veda, and put it into metrical form. So the Samaveda is the most beautiful of all the Vedas because they're all songs. So Samaveda, that's really the most beautiful. The second idea was Vasudeva.
I am Vasava among the gods.
Yes, meaning here, he is Vishnu. He's the head, the of all the various gods. He is the one who's the ultimate one to be worshipped. Again, this idea of when I'm in touch with the highest and the best, what happens to my mind? Next idea.
Among the senses, I am the mind.
Yes. Indra is the king of the gods, and he is the mind, the intellect. So the mind itself is a sense organ. We have the five outer senses: seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling. But many of you, for example, when you walk into a church or a temple, and you can feel sacred space, who's had that experience? What do you feel it with? Fine. Hypothetically, you walk into a room and you know people have been fighting. You can feel the tension. Now, psychotherapists would say, oh, it's the body language. But no, it's more than that. You can feel it. Frequently in class, people get tuned up. Feel the power of the gestalt that happens when we study scripture. What is it that feels? It's my mind. Next idea.
I am the intelligence among living beings.
And here, intelligence, you could say it's being really smart, but it doesn't mean high IQ. It means for all living beings, what is the awareness? What is the sentience? It's functioning through all living beings. Is that all the pieces of that one?
Yes.
Next verse.
Rudranam Shankarashasmi Vittesho Yaksharaksasam Vasunam Pavakashasmi Meru Shikharinamaham. And among the Rudras, I am Shankara. Among the Yakshas and Rakshasas, I am the Lord of Wealth or Kuber. Among the Vasus, I am Pavaka or Agni. And among the mountains, I am the Meru.
Okay, so the various Rudras, essentially, what is the literal meaning of Rudra? I don't know that one. Anyway, Shankara is Lord Shiva. That's what it means.
There's a destroyer.
Pardon me?
The destroyer.
Of all the destructive powers, then, Lord Shiva is the great destroyer. What's the comes after that? The
Among the Yakshas and Rakshasas, I am Kuber, the Lord of Wealth.
yes. So the celestial beings, both positive and negative. Again, what are the things that we worship that have control us, both negatively and positively? It is the Lord of Wealth. It's our desire for money. Next idea.
Among the Vasus, I am Pavaka or Agni.
Yes. So I think that here he means of the various elements. It's fire. It's the subtlest, the greatest. Again, what is the ultimate of all these various dimensions of human experience? Is that all the pieces of that one?
No, one more.
Okay.
Among the mountains, I am the Meru.
Oh, Meru is the immovable mountain, the navel of the world. Sacred. The abode of Lord Shiva. No, that's Kailash. But the most sacred one. All right, going on.
Purodhasam cha mukhyam mam Vidhipata brihaspatim Senani namaham skanda Sarasamasmi sagara. And among the household priests, O Partha, know me to be the chief, Brihaspati. Among generals, I am Skanda. Among lakes, I am the ocean.
So the first one, Brihaspati, the origin of all the rituals come from Brihaspati. If you come from a Brahmin family and you were raised where you did ritual, where does it all tend to trace itself back to Brihaspati? And what was the second idea?
Oh, and Brihaspati is also the teacher of the gods.
Yes.
The second idea is among generals, I am Skanda.
And that's a mythological reference that I'm not sure of. Who is Skanda in the mythology?
The son of Shiva.
And is there a story about him in a battle?
Yeah.
He's the general of the armies that Shiva controls. And yeah, he is thought to be the like a warlord, I guess.
Warrior energy.
Yeah.
So it's the idea of what is the greatest in any field. Next idea.
Among lakes, I am the ocean.
the greatest of the great. Next verse.
Maharshinam brigiraham giram giramasyemakam giramasmekamaksharam yajnanam japa yagyosmi savarnam himalaya. Among the great rishis, I am Bhrigu. Among words, I am the one-syllabled Om. Among sacrifices, I am the sacrifice of silent repetition, or japa. Among immovable things, the Himalayas.
There's some interesting things in this mantra. This one is one of my favorites, this shloka. So the first idea again.
Among the great rishis, I am Bhrigu.
Yes, so again, he is the grandfather of all the teachers. Next idea.
Among words, I am the one-syllabled Om.
Oh, yes. So all the way through our Vedic literature, and of course the great exegesis, the breaking open of the meaning of all, we get in the Mandukya Upanishad. And that is traditionally studied with the Gaudapada Karika, which is the gloss written by Shankara's grandfather guru. Shankara's guru was Govindapada, Govindapada's guru was Gaudapada. So we don't have time tonight to go into the deep mystical meaning of all, but I'll give it a quick overview. All this is all. All that is beyond all this is verily all. Om is divided into Chatushpada, 4 quarters. A, U, Ma, and Sai. A stands for the waking state world. U stands for the dream state and all altered states. Ma stands for the deep sleep state. The silence, the turiya, the 4. It's not another state of mind. It is 4th in the sequence of discussion. What it means, the turiya is another name for yourself. It is the consciousness in which the 3 mind states move about. When we chant Om, always chant all 4 quarters. When you chant a mantra, always include that 4th quarter. Let there be silence surrounding you. Let it be mechanical. Let the mantra stop. Let your mind stop. And the next one. I'm the king of yoga, japa is the king of yogas.
Among sacrifices, I am the sacrifice of silent repetition, which is japa.
Yes. So here Krishna expresses a preference. What is it that is so effective That's japa. Japa is the silent repetition of a mantra. So Swamiji, I don't have time to tell this story. So next week we will go into the power and the value of japa. So what verse are we in the middle of?
25.
25. We'll take this up next week. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari